Hi, Sam Roberts here for Roberts Geospatial. ProRaster Scientific version 2.2.09 has been released and is now in the Microsoft Store. So let's take a look at what it can do. So the major new feature in this release is a new processing operation called classify. And what this does is it produces a virtual raster, which is a classified raster. So a classified raster is like a thematic in a GIS system. So it contains an index, which contains a zero-based row number into a table. And the table can be of any size and contain all sorts of different data like strings and date time and any kind of data you want. So this operation is going to take a raster and classify it. So if you've received some kind of pseudo-classified data from some provider, and this is out there all the time, it's probably going to be some TIFF file, and it will contain an unsigned integer, and that's the class index. And it's not really particularly useful in that form. So this operation will take that data and classify it and turn it into a true classified raster. So for example, if we go to the GLOW 30 data for New Zealand and we use the water mask, in here we put in our input data source, so that might be a raster or it might be a raster source, which might contain multiple TIFF files. So if you have 30,000 TIFF files, you put them into a raster source and that becomes your input to this operation. Then you can either define a legend, which is a small text file and defines all of the information in the table and in the data map, or there's a second option where you can provide those things separately and as CSV files. So here's an example of a little legend. So this is for our water mask in the GLOW 30 data. So we just have 4 classifications: no water, ocean, lake and river. We have a color for each of these classifications. This is our label, and from this the system's going to create a simple classified raster. So we'll output that to WM class, load that legend. Here's our little ledge. Hit OK. So it creates a virtual raster, so the processing happens immediately. There's no waiting around, so you can immediately take a look at your result and make sure that you've got everything right. So for example, here in New Zealand we have ocean now, land, lakes, and if we zoom in a bit we'll find some rivers as well. So that's our classified raster. As I said, there are 2 ways to produce the classified raster. One is from a legend, another is from these CSV files. So in the data transform, there's a new button that allows you to export a legend, and it's this button up here. So maybe we'll just do that. If I open a raster source like Merit DEM, I'll go into the color table just as a demonstration, change it to a different color table. Now when I open the data transform editor, one of the new features is that color table is reflected in this raster, because from here we want to create a legend that not only maps the data but also contains the colors, and that's all going to go into our classified raster. So for example, here I have a Jenks natural break transform with 16 ranges, so I can now export that out to a legend. So let's call this Jenks. It comes up and shows you what the legend is. You can then edit this. So for example, these class labels, you can change them to what you want. Then go into our processing operation, classify. Merit will be our input. We'll load that legend that we just created, Jenks, hit OK, and here's our classified raster. And if we now look at the key data value, it's no longer giving us terrain, it's giving us the class of that classified raster. So that's a new classify operation in version 2.2.09 in ProRaster Scientific. ProRaster Premium inherits that new functionality in the data transform, and ProRaster Essential inherits some bug fixes. So thanks for watching.